My name is Lily, and if you looked at me back then in my faded oversized t-shirts, my messy bun, and my hands blistered from washing dishes, you would have thought I was exactly what my mother-in-law called me. Gutter trash. A nobody. A desperate girl who got lucky enough to marry a successful corporate manager named Mark. But there was one tiny, billion-dollar detail my husband's family didn't know. The girl they treated like an unpaid maid every single day was actually the sole heiress to Sterling Enterprises. Yes, that times Sterling Enterprises, the biggest tech and real estate empire in the country. You're probably wondering, why on earth would a billionaire's daughter put up with scrubbing toilets and taking insults? The answer is simple, and honestly, a little pathetic. I just wanted to be loved for me. Growing up, my life was filled with fake friends, gold diggers, and people who only saw me as a walking ATM. When I went off to college, I made a promise to myself. I dropped my last name, hid my trust fund, and lived like a normal, struggling student. That's when I met Mark. He was ambitious, charming, and he seemed to love the simple, broke girl I pretended to be. When he proposed, I thought I had finally found my fairy tale. I planned to tell him the truth eventually, but I wanted to be absolutely sure his heart was in the right place first. I couldn't have been more wrong. The moment we got married and moved into his family's massive estate, the mask slipped. Mark's family wasn't old money, but they were desperate to look like it. His mother, Eleanor, was a snobby, elitist woman obsessed with country clubs and high society. His sister, Chloe, was a spoiled, entitled influencer wannabe who threw a tantrum if her designer shoes got a speck of dust on them. And Mark, the man who promised to protect me, he turned into a spineless, ladder-climbing coward who let his mother and sister treat me like a stray dog. To them, I was the charity case. Since I didn't bring any wealth into the family, Eleanor decided I had to earn my keep. The household staff was slowly let go, and all their duties fell on me. I was cooking 3 gourmet meals a day, doing everyone's laundry, ironing Eleanor's silk dresses, and cleaning Chloe's muddy shoes with a toothbrush. If I made a mistake, the verbal abuse was relentless. Eleanor would intentionally spill her wine on the rug just to watch me clean it up. Chloe would mock my cheap clothes in front of her friends, calling me Cinderella before the magic. And whenever I begged Mark to stand up for me, to just say one word in my defense, he would brush me off. He'd say, "Lily, you have to understand. You don't come from our world. You don't understand our standards. Just do what my mother asks and stop complaining." My heart broke a little more every day. The love I had for him slowly turned into cold, hard realization. I wasn't his wife. I was a prop. I stayed quiet, watching, observing, and waiting. Because if there's one thing my father taught me, it's that you never show your cards until you're ready to clear the table. The breaking point came right around our 2nd anniversary. Mark came home one evening practically buzzing with excitement. His firm was trying to land a mega contract with Sterling Enterprises. It was the kind of deal that would make him a senior partner overnight. He announced to the family that the CEO of Sterling Enterprises, who, spoiler alert, is my father, Arthur Sterling, was hosting a massive, exclusive charity gala at the Plaza Hotel. Mark's boss had managed to get them VIP tickets. Eleanor and Chloe lost their minds. They spent the next 2 days buying thousands of dollars worth of dresses, acting like they were about to meet royalty. The night before the gala, we were all at the dinner table. I was pouring Mark's water when I quietly asked, "Mark, can I come with you guys tomorrow?" The entire table went dead silent. Then, Chloe burst into hysterical laughter. Eleanor actually covered her mouth, looking at me like I had just asked to fly to the moon. "You?" Chloe wheezed. "At the plaza? With billionaires? Oh my God! You'd probably try to steal the silverware." Eleanor slammed her glass down. "Don't be ridiculous, Lily. You would completely humiliate us. You don't know how to speak, how to walk, or how to act around people of our status. You are staying here, and while we are gone, I want the guest house deep cleaned." I looked at Mark, just one last time. I gave him one final chance to be a husband, but he just sighed, avoiding my eyes. Mom's right, Lily. It's a high society event. You wouldn't fit in. Just stay home and do as you're told. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just slowly nodded, and a smile, a real, genuine smile, crept onto my face for the first time in years. You're right, Mark, I said softly. I wouldn't want to ruin your status. The next evening, they left the house dressed to the nines, laughing and ignoring me on their way out. The moment the front door clicked shut, I dropped the cleaning rag. I walked into my bedroom, pulled out a hidden encrypted smartphone from the back of my closet, and dialed a number I hadn't called in 2 years. Dad? I said when he picked up. You were right about them. Are you at the plaza tonight? Good. Send the chopper. Your daughter is coming home. Within an hour, a team of elite stylists was waiting for me at my father's penthouse. I shed the oversized t-shirt and the messy bun. They dressed me in a breathtaking, custom-made haute couture gown that cost more than Mark's entire house. They clasped a diamond necklace around my throat that was worth more than his firm. When I looked in the mirror, the terrified, exhausted Maid was gone. The heiress to the Sterling Empire was back. A sleek black Maybach pulled up to the Plaza Hotel, flanked by security SUVs. When I stepped out, the paparazzi went wild. Cameras flashed like lightning. I walked up those grand stairs, feeling absolutely invincible. Inside the grand ballroom, the elite of the city were mingling, and there, hovering awkwardly near the back, trying desperately to fit in, were Mark, Eleanor, and Chloe. When the massive double doors opened for me, the music seemed to soften. People turned. And then, my in-laws saw me. I wish I had a camera to capture the exact moment their brains short-circuited. Chloe's jaw practically hit the floor. Eleanor turned a sickly shade of pale, whispering to Mark. Mark's face turned beet red with a mix of fury and sheer panic. He marched right over to me, grabbing my arm, hissing under his breath. Lily, what the hell are you doing here? Did you sneak in? Take off those fake diamonds and get out before you ruin my career. Security, get her out of here. Eleanor and Chloe rushed over right behind him. You shameless thief. Eleanor practically spat. You rented all this to humiliate us, didn't you, you disgusting little gold digger? I didn't flinch. I didn't back away. I just looked at them like they were insects on the bottom of my shoe. Before I could say a word, the host spoke into the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour. The founder and CEO of Sterling Enterprises, Mr. Arthur Sterling. The crowd parted. My father, silver-haired, fiercely intimidating, and radiating absolute power, walked down the grand staircase. Mark immediately let go of my arm. He shoved past me, dragging his mother and sister to intercept the billionaire. He bowed slightly, wearing the most pathetic, desperate smile I had ever seen. Mr. Sterling! What an absolute honor, sir! I am Mark from... My father didn't even blink at him. He completely brushed past Mark, walking straight toward me. The entire ballroom was watching in total silence. My father's cold, ruthless face broke into a warm, loving smile. He opened his arms. My beautiful girl, he said, his voice echoing in the quiet room. Welcome back, Lily. I hugged him tight. Hi, Dad. I turned my head just in time to see Mark, Eleanor, and Chloe. The color had completely drained from their faces. Their eyes were bulging out of their heads. They looked like they had just seen a ghost. Mark stumbled backward, his voice trembling so hard he could barely speak. Dad, Mr. Sterling. Sir, there must be a mistake. This is Lily. She's an orphan. She has nothing. My father slowly let go of me and turned to Mark. The warmth in his eyes vanished, replaced by pure ice. Nothing? You are speaking about my only daughter, the sole heir to the Sterling Empire. The silence in the room was deafening. Eleanor began to physically shake. She forced a fake, terrified, trembling smile. Lily, oh sweetie, we were just joking earlier. You know how much we love you, right? We're family. Chloe was practically in tears. Yeah, you're the best sister-in-law ever. We love you. I stepped forward. The power dynamic hadn't just shifted. I held the entire universe in my hands at that moment. I was garbage when I had nothing, I said, my voice dangerously calm and echoing enough for everyone to hear. And now I'm family because my father can buy your entire bloodline 10 times over? Keep your fake love, Eleanor. You're going to need it. I turned to my husband, the man who let me scrub floors while he chased wealth. He looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. Mark, I said, looking him dead in the eyes, you wanted a contract with Sterling Enterprises so badly. But the only contract you'll be getting is the divorce papers my lawyers are sending to your house tomorrow morning. You get nothing. Not a single dime. My father snapped his fingers. Immediately, 4 massive security guards surrounded my in-laws. Throw this trash out of my hotel, my father ordered, and make sure Mark's firm knows exactly why they just lost $1 billion account. I stood there, sipping a glass of expensive champagne, as Mark, Eleanor, and Chloe were physically dragged out of the ballroom in front of the city's most powerful people. They were crying, screaming my name, and begging for a second chance, but the doors slammed shut on them, locking them out of my world forever. They say money can't buy happiness, and maybe that's true, but watching the people who tortured and humiliated you realize they just threw away the biggest lottery ticket of their miserable lives, trust me, that's pretty damn close.